Hello everybody, this is Michael Drosky, and I forgot to do a video on June 25th of 2022, which is last week, which is the 13th anniversary to Michael Jackson's untimely passing on on June 25th, 2009, in which Michael Jackson sadly passes away from a heart failure from a lethal drug overdose. He was only 50 years old, and I'm gonna do this now because I'm a little too late to do a reaction video to what happened, a post reaction video to the 13 years since Michael Jackson had died. And let me say this from my experience. All right, everyone was freaking out. Everyone was in heavy disbelief because that Michael Jackson died, and Michael Jackson himself was going to make a comeback tour, which for the first time in history since his accusations with child molestation and his financial issues, that he will make a comeback to a concert, and there's a lot of evidence that I wanted to discuss with you in this other video. But in this video, I'll just discuss to you what happened on that day when I was doing and everything. So I was coming out of my room, which used to live on Winter Street, and then I could remember my mother coming home from getting her nails done, and she turned on the news on the TV and said Michael Jackson is dead. And the sad thing about this is that everyone that they neither graduated in the class of 2009 or just got off from the 2008-2009 school year, which I was in the 6th grade, which it was like a bad year for me because I was overcoming adversity, and I got an award for most improved student in the next grade. But Michael Jackson is one of those celebrities that people just simply can't deny, and he has every good hit after hit after hit of songs he put out over the years since his Motown solo career in 1972 up until 1975, and his epic record solo era from 1979 to 2001. And the only reason I'm still feeling disbelief is because if you all remember, like on my Massive Job channel, where I discussed multiple videos talking about the 2020 edition of the VMAs and how all the music that I used to listen to since the death of Michael Jackson, and seeing that there's nothing to listen to because people are going to blame me because whatever music I listen to is not in our generation, which means, for example, if I listen to if I was gonna still listen to Michael Jackson, they're just gonna tell me he's dead. Why would you listen to the Jonas Brothers? Listen, I did not see a 50-year-old who grew up in front of almost 200 million people at the age of 5, having tremendous album sales flying off the shelves, with multiple people buying multiple copies of Michael Jackson's discography and his merch. Everybody's been doing it since he began with Off the Wall and Thriller and Bad and Dangerous in the last 3 studio albums before he died, and to the moment he passed away. And you know what happened? MTV pulled the plug and pay a tribute to the King of Pop, and respecting his life and legacy and his honor. But you have to understand, you have to at least understand, after 1 year to the 13th year, they haven't paid respect to Michael Jackson. And that is because, and this is also a bonus Rant Files episode, this is because Michael Jackson's music for every June 25th in the last 13 years has not been played on radio stations, except for many channels that they want to play Michael Jackson music. And there is a thing now back in 2016, 17, or even up until 2019, that Michael Jackson that he has already dead, and people are now blaming the deceased super king of pop that he's been charged with child molestation to these two group of people that they think that the boys think that Michael Jackson was molested, which I'll talk about in a separate video. And a lot of things happened in the summer of 2009. Michael Jackson died. Multiple songs from the top 40 list had gone up. Most of them were other artists that they have multiple digital streaming services back then, and they released multiple songs at number 1 and number 10, while Michael Jackson was on the number 1 hit list for only a few days. This is not funny, okay? And what top 40 radio stations and pop radio stations is trying to send a message saying that Michael Jackson music is going to be muted because they want, just if you know what I'm saying, if you know me really well in the past couple YouTube channels, that some of the radio stations play terrible music, you truly understand why. At one point of the decade, they play good music. In the next decade, they play kind of good music, but worse. If you know what I mean, Kiss 108 has muted Michael Jackson's music since the day he died. They haven't played any Michael Jackson songs continuous since the day he died, and I'm saying since 2010 up until 2022. That neither Kiss 108 or any other radio stations, and that's considered that they play pop music and hip hop, that haven't paid the tribute or any respect to Michael Jackson, whether if his birthday or death anniversary. And still, we have to listen to every single annoying song that we have to listen to for the last 13 years, and there's no hope that people accept listening to adult contemporary music such as Magic 106.7 or any other oldies radio station, that we're going to hear Michael Jackson songs that we want to hear ever again. But all I'm saying is that we're going to suffer a huge loss if some corporate radio stations are going to tell the people to stop playing Michael Jackson and play something else besides Michael Jackson. And the reason I'm saying this is because that's the most hard-hitted celebrity death that I have to deal with throughout my life. And if you don't know what I mean, that's the hardest death. That's one of the hardest deaths that I have to deal with in my life. The most hardest one to hit me was Whitney Houston. I'll talk about that in a separate video. But like I told everybody, cancel culture is trying to put people in line and put in blame because they want to make money off of it, and they just want to not play any music that the people want to hear ever again. They just want to play repeats of the same song every 30 minutes to every 3 hours. Have a list of songs that people wanted to hear in the car, on the Echo Dot every day. Take out any songs that people that don't want to hear anymore, especially at the radio station, that something doesn't play right anymore, that people just don't want to hear it. And then just multiple radio stations have cassette tapes. Excuse me. People with cassette tapes neither hoard up and they just throw it away. But they don't have that anymore. They just have the button where it plays the song. So like I said, Michael Jackson and cancel culture do not mix. it's irrelevant. That'll do it for my little Rant Files episode, and thank you very much for waiting patiently for my next Rant Files episode, where I'll be talking about the anniversary of Michael Jackson and how the rail station communities of local rail stations, and how the music has changed since Michael Jackson died, and especially when it comes to Justin Bieber going to be turned out. Excuse me. And when it comes to Justin Bieber, if he's gonna have a terrible career, but now he isn't. So that'll do it for the episode. Thank you for watching the video. This has been a Rant Files episode.